out of all the live actions you've watched, have you ever watched one where you're like, wow, that's really good, or maybe as good as the cartoon? Because I've seen Lion King live action, Jungle Book, Aladdin, this. I'm sure I've seen a lot more. That's kind of like what's happening right now. It's like all these live action remakes of like cartoons that like kids our age or people our age used to watch as kids.
When I think of live actions, I think of like, I feel like what they first started with was like the Disney princess movies. That was like the very first that I remember of like when they started doing live action. I think Mulan was cool. I like that one.
You liked Mulan?
Yeah.
I don't remember Mulan very much.
I don't think
I feel like I fell asleep when we watched it.
The weird thing is I don't think any of them can be the same because it's not the same like nostalgia that you have as a kid.
Yeah.
Watching, like, I think it's cool to watch like the remakes. I think it's cool that they make them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting.
So you're not like anti live action?
No, but I'm not going to just sit here and be like, oh my gosh, it's so much better than the original. Because the original, like, I don't know, watching something as a 20-year-old versus like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Back to like the
like,
fascination
it's not
of
gonna
like
be,
when you're a kid.
It's not going to be the same. And it's just like the memories. Like when I think of those movies, I still think of like The Little Mermaid. Like, I actually didn't even finish it, but
oh yeah.
When I was
that
watching,
good?
it's okay. I mean, I would finish it, but like when I was watching that, like if someone says Little Mermaid, I don't instantly think about the new remake. I think about the old one over little. So I'm not against them making them. It's just not the same.
I wonder if you like. I mean, I feel like both of us aren't really necessarily like Disney adults.
Oh no.
But like, it'd be interesting to get like a huge.
I'm glad we're not though, because never mind.
Yeah, the whole Disney adult. I don't want to bash them. I mean, we have got.
That's why I stopped myself.
We got to. I feel like we've gone to Disneyland and Disney World twice since we've been married. We go one more time.
Well,
we're Disney adults.
Disneyland once, Disney World once.
But I think the fact that I think you and I never want to go again, or not again. We both don't want to go again until we both have kids. If we were Disney adults, I think we would want to go back a lot. And I think that's what makes a Disney adult. Someone who like just constantly watches like Disney Plus and then they go to the parks all the time. They wear Disney merch. Like you'll never catch me wearing like a Mickey Mouse t-shirt, bro.
You did.
Huh?
You did.
Okay, I did one time at Disneyland for my mom. Okay. My mom bought us Mickey Mouse shirts and I wore it because I didn't want to make her feel bad. So that's why I wore it. And I'll never wear anything like that.
I like
again.
the socks. I still wear the socks. Just
the socks are fine.
Because they're socks.
It's like, yeah, no one sees them.
Like, hey, I need clean socks. Okay, sure.
But the point of this is that I feel like it's really hard to like capture the magic of like an original cartoon through live action. Me personally, I've never felt like I've seen something better than the cartoon. And that's how I feel with the Avatar live action. Like, I like it. I actually don't think it's bad. What do you think about it? You like it?
I don't think it's bad. I think I almost kind of wish we watched the original, like,
and then went back
close to before watching this one because I'm kind of forgetting. I mean, actually, it's kind of nice, like watching this new one and remembering, like, oh yeah, like in the cartoon this happened, cartoon that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe not. Maybe we didn't have to go back and watch them, but
mm-hmm.
so far I like it. It's nice to have a new show, like, in general.
Yeah, sucks being a show hole.
It's fun to see, like, I think it is fun to see how they remake it. Like whenever they announce a live action, I always think like, oh, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna make it like like the original? Or like,
it is always interesting to see like the initial. Like I feel like the funnest part for me so far watching it is like the very beginning. Oh, what does Aang look like? What is what's Sokka gonna look like? What's Katara gonna look like? And do you remember the first thing you said when you saw Aang when we were watching it?
No. What did I say?
You were like, his eyebrows are bushy. I feel like
they're very dark and very thick, which I don't know, were they like that in the cartoon? There's very pronounced eyebrows for a little boy.
Man, it's hard because Yeah.
He's very cute. He's a cute little kid. Yeah. I'm not trying to make this kid feel bad about himself.
I just thought it was funny. But I feel like with the cartoon, it's so hard. It's like nearly impossible. Like those characters in Avatar are so like charming. I feel like, man, it's so hard to ask a kid to perfectly display that. So it's hard because I don't want to come off as like nitpicky, but I feel like, man, those are hard characters to play. And they're not like, they're doing as a good a job, I guess, as they could. But it's like, I don't know, Aang is always like smiley and bubbly. And I feel like that's really hard for the actor to be able to match that. I don't know. It's tough. But yeah, I would say so far, I like it. Like, it's not like amazing, but I don't know what else you could ask for. Like,
yeah, like you have to go in, like your expectations can't be like, you have to, at least for me, I'm like, you have to understand that it's going to be different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so that's why I still like watching it, because I'm curious what they're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be the same, but they've still been like creative with it. Like I do like the Uncle
Iroh.
Yeah, he's still really cute.
Yeah.
And like, for example, I forgot about his character until he was like, oh, let's get some tea. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now I remember his character and what he liked to do. He was always like laid back and wanted food and tea. Like that's all that he really worried about.
It's been fun for us because I feel like this is like an incredible fan service for them, because it's like it's like almost like copy and paste the show, or I think so. I mean, I haven't watched it in a couple of years, but so far I've always been like, oh, this is how it starts, or oh yeah, this is when they do this. So like I feel like they've just kind of copied and pasted it into live action so far, which I think is good.
The old people Cody thinks are not great actors.
I think a lot of the adults are bad actors.
In particular, the older lady from the Water Kingdom.
The older lady from the Water Kingdom?
Like, he's the Avatar.
Oh, yeah. Katara and Sokka's grandma. I feel like she was just like not very good.
Kind of flat.
Yeah, kind of flat. But yeah.
Maybe, is that how she was in the original? Is that how she's supposed to be?
I don't remember. See, I don't even remember her character. So maybe I do. I think I remember her being super old and kind of not there all the way. But yeah, it's been so long. I can't remember. Oh, I feel like they did a good job with Appa. Like Appa, I feel like looks really cool. So I feel like so far.
And what's the other little friend?
The lemur.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name.
He's like little big ears.
Yeah, I feel like they should have just made the movie just like this back when they made that terrible movie. Because just like,
I don't even remember that they made a movie.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't watch it. But when did they make a movie?
They
tried to cram like the whole show into a movie?
No, it was 2011, I think. I want to say 2011, and it was M. Night Shyamalan, the same guy that made The Sixth Sense. I just remember it being so boring. And then they got like to a part in the show, and then they ended it thinking that it was going to be like a big moneymaker and there were going to be sequels and stuff, but it ended up like completely bombing, and then they never made a new one again. And it gets trashed on the internet all the time. It's like people think it's like one of the worst movies ever. So it's pretty.
Isn't it crazy how different like they were like, good, it's gonna have such a.
I know how someone can direct a movie being like, this is good.
It's gonna catch the audience, and everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, and like people that made that were probably thinking
like
that it was gonna be good.
Someone that's working on it has to know that it's not gonna land, but maybe they're just so into their work that they're like, yeah, the audience will love it.
Yeah.
Even though I think that happens with a lot of movies though sometimes.
And I think that a lot of the reason why this one's so close to the show and why it's so similar is because how bad that one flopped.
Did the other one try to like do its own thing and
not
follow the storyline?
I mean, I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but I remember it being like too serious, maybe. Like they took everything too serious. There was none of that like wittiness or silliness with the characters that everyone loves from the cartoon. And yeah, it just flopped. So I feel like they're probably like, we got to play it safe if we're going to make a live action Avatar. It's number 1 on Netflix right now. Yeah, I would, it's just like, I feel like it's the best thing you can expect from a live action. Like,
and a cartoon. It's one thing to make a live action movie.
Cartoon.
Live action cartoon is different. That would be like a live action Curious George. Like, I can't even picture
is there a character
what they would do or how they would do that.
Are there characters that you think are doing better portraying that character? Or some that are maybe doing worse? Like, is there one that comes to mind? Like, oh, this person is like doing a really good job at playing this person.
I think all the kids are doing really good.
Yeah. For kid actors, I feel like that's like the best you can really get from kid actors. Like, but it's tough. I feel like Sokka. I feel like he's doing a good job. Like he's kind of playing like Sokka's kind of dorky in the show. I feel like he's kind of a little dorky in the movie too. But overall, I don't know. It's okay. Like it's good. It's not great. That's pretty much where I would put it. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
No, I will say like
yeah.
I like watching them. I'm not like after the episode ends like, oh, I'm done with that. Like I still want to see.
I think they're fun.
I still want to see the next episode. Like so I do like it. I think it's just more like curiosity thing. Like I like the scenery and I like the like seeing each like now we're in the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah,
like,
when it pans over the villages that they're at, it's like really cool. And I feel like they're doing a good job at like kind of copying it from the show. Like they look pretty similar to the villages from the show, which I think is pretty cool.
One thing that I forgot to say. So in the original, we talked about this. They don't show, or maybe they do, but I don't remember them showing like how the Airbender kingdom was destroyed. Like they showed it.
Yeah.
They showed it on this live action part.
Yeah. So in the live action
original, did they show that? Because I thought it was actually interesting that they did.
Yeah. So we were
kind of like of a backstory.
Yeah, we were both confused because in the original cartoon, I swear that Aang goes back to the village thinking that they're all going to be alive. And the grandma doesn't tell him ever, and no one ever tells him that they're all dead. So he goes back, and that's why he gets so angry. But in the show, they show them all dying at the beginning, and then Aang getting stuck in the wave and becoming an ice cube. And yeah, that's when he wakes up. It's different because in the cartoon you don't ever see them die. So like showing them all die, I thought it was actually good because that was actually a really cool part of the show, like that action fight between the airbenders and the firebenders. I thought was kind of cool.
I liked that it showed his relationship with what's the one guy?
Yeah, the master.
The main guy with like the beaded necklace.
I don't know his name, but yeah, his master.
Like when he told him that he's the Avatar, he's like, well, why can't I just go back to being your friend?
Yeah,
it's like, well, you still are my friend. And then the saddest thing is like you didn't see any bodies really, like in the kingdom because it'd been so long. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, there is one, and it's his and Aang sees him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like
that was so sad.
Yeah, it was sad. But yeah, see, I liked that part. Like, it wasn't like, oh, they didn't do this in the cartoon. I just thought, well, at first I did that, but then I was like, well, that was good because then it showed the significance that they had on Aang's life, which I liked because I don't think they do that in the cartoon, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember. I will say, Aang sounds like Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
Are we sure it's not him? I'm just kidding.
And now I can't unhear it. I'm always like, that's Dewey, bro. Like, it sounds just like him.
Maybe they're related somehow.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
I mean, he sounds like he should. He sounds like a pre-puberty, like little kid. He sounds
how he should, exactly. Yeah.
But his voice maybe is a little bit similar to Dewey. Just kind of funny.
Yeah. I'm glad that they did kids and not all these adults pretending to be like 14-year-olds.
Like High School Musical. They're like 25-year-olds trying to be
in high school.
Like 17-year-olds. And then you go to high school and you're like, Yeah, no one looks like that.
Yeah, no.
We all have braces and
Yeah, we're all awkward looking.
Yeah.
They're kind of awkward looking too, but like they're kids, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun. It's not like it will to me at least it will never be better than the cartoon, just because the cartoon is so good, man. It's like probably a top 10 cartoon for me, like of all time. So yeah, it's fun. It'll be interesting. Maybe we'll do another episode of like once we finish it to see how we feel. But right now, we're liking it. It's fun. Not the best show I've ever seen. Not the best. Probably one of the better live actions, though. I will say I did like Aladdin's live action. Like I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, actually, it was really funny because they made the genie like extra funny.
Yeah,
like I did like that. And
Isn't it Will Smith?
And the tiger looked good. The tiger didn't look like crappy.
I thought the music was good.
You know what? Yeah, I think out of all the live action princesses,
Aladdin did the best, or one of the best.
I think so. Beauty and the Beast is okay,
Mhm.
but also it's kind of like I think I like Aladdin in general more than because how many they've done Cinderella, they've done Beauty and the Beast, they've done Aladdin,
They've done a lot, bro.
They've done Aladdin, Mulan, The Little Mermaid,
Jungle Book.
Aren't they making a Snow White?
I think they're making a live action Wicked.
But they
Is
are
Snow White Wicked? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't know princess lore as much as you do.
No, Wicked isn't really a princess thing. Wicked is
It's a musical, right? Isn't Wicked a musical?
It is, but I'm trying to think of like the backstory because I've watched basically like they put it on like Wicked in the theaters in like cities in Utah and all around.
Yeah, they always play Wicked around.
Yeah, so we've gone to it. It's something with
there's a witch,
Elphaba,
right?
and I think she's like the witch in the Wizard of Oz, but it shows her like background and it shows her growing up. But yeah, Wicked.
Do you want to go see it?
A musical. What?
Would you want to go see it? Do you think? Do you think you'd like it? Is it in your wheelhouse? I like musicals.
I do. No, I do like the musical.
Yeah.
But we're just going on other trips this year. I don't want to go on a trip like. I like traveling, but I don't want to go like every single month.
Yeah. With your family to.
Well, it's just I'd rather.
Because they're gonna go see it in
somewhere. Well, and it's like and money and time and just it's one of those things where like maybe I'd go see it, but it's not as much of a priority.
Well, I'm just talking about the movie.
Priority, other things. Oh, I thought you meant going.
No, not the show. The movie.
I think I'd watch the movie, but I feel like
I like musicals, so why not?
After the movie, I'd probably be like, it's not the same as.
They've never live actions never. Are as good as the cartoon. It's like rare.
But I mean, Ariana Grande.
She's in it.
Get much of a better singer to.
It's true. Yeah. Is she the witch?
You know what?
Is she the witch?
I don't think so. I think she's the other girl.
She's like probably a princess or something.
She's the other girl that's like way more. I'm not
pretty.
Sure. I'm not. I mean, it's hard to be pretty with a green. Makeup, but
and a witch nose.
I can't remember for sure, but I think she's like the other girl, the girl that is more girly. Like, have you've heard the song "Popular"?
Oh, that's from Wicked.
Yeah.
I wanna be popular.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I didn't know what that was from.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a very well-known musical. So that scene is like they're becoming friends. I can't remember her name, the other girl's name, but she is like talking to Elphaba and she's like trying to teach her how to talk to boys and how to dress and how to act. And then she's saying like, I'm going to make you popular. That's where that's kind of like the,
you will be popular. Yeah. I would say, I will say now that we're on the topic of musicals real quick, La La Land is like my favorite musical, and also now like one of my favorite movies ever. It's so dorky, but like
it's not dorky.
Okay, it's not okay. Good. But I like is this dorky? I like listen to the music on Spotify now. Like I pulled up I made a movie playlist and I put a bunch of the songs from La La Land in it.
It's not dorky, but when you find something that you like.
It's just so dreamy.
Like
it's
you listen, but like when you find something that you listen to it like a lot.
Yeah, okay.
Which so that's not weird. But the funny thing is, I watched it like years ago when it came out.
I never watched it because
I don't know why,
cool.
but I never really thought like, oh, Cody's gonna love this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't.
Because I would always be like, should we watch it? Do you think I'd like it? And you'd go like, yeah, you might.
Well, like he likes some romance movies. He doesn't like others, and so I didn't really like when I watched it. I thought it was really good, but I never thought like, oh, Cody really is gonna want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
So when we watched it, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I'm like, oh, I should have probably shown this to you sooner.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. Like it's so good. Like it's
I
so
like
dreamy.
How it's dreamy, but it's kind of realistic on how some relationships end up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really it's got a powerful message.
The ending is kind of sad though, how like she thinks back and pictures her life like
God, I love all that. I could do a whole podcast on this movie, bro. Yeah, like it's almost like it's sad that they're not together, but they both helped each other chase their dreams. Like really
achieve their dreams, both of them.
It's beautiful movie. If anyone's actually listening to this,
well, and if anyone hasn't seen it after the years it's been out, and we've just spoiled it if they haven't seen it anyways.
Shoot, it's still worth it. It's like for the scenes and like the music, it doesn't matter. Go watch it. Personally, I think it's one of the best movies ever made, and definitely the best musical I've ever seen. I haven't seen a lot of musicals, but I mean, it's just like 10 out of 10 all around the board. Go see that movie. I think it's on Netflix, but it's about to leave, so you better go now, viewer or listener.
We've probably already seen it. Huh? I think you're like one of the last to watch.
Yeah, I know. It's so old. It's like, have you guys seen this movie?
When did it come out? How many years ago?
2016. Yes.
It has not been that long.
Yes, it's that old. But it looks like it could come out tomorrow. Like the visuals on it, I'm telling you, are like so beautiful. I felt like I was in a dream watching it.
Who did I watch it with then?
I don't know who you watched it with back in 2016, bro.
2016. I just graduated high school.
Yeah, I don't know. I should have watched it. I don't know if I watched it back then, I would have loved it too. It's just so good.
But would you admit that you loved it?
No.
No, because your roommates would be like,
so I had to be cool. It's the same reason why
they'd be like, Cody, that's lame.
It's the same reason why I didn't watch Avatar. I was like, it's lame. I can't be seen watching a baby show. Like stuff like that. But anyway, with Avatar, good show, fun. It's the most you can really ask for in a live action movie. I know a lot of people were complaining about like Aang flying without his glider, but
you were.
Wah. I told you people were.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
chill on your boy right now.
I feel like you were like, Aang can't fly without his glider.
Chill on your boy.
And then when he finally was using it, we're like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, it looks better with it. Like
it was the way he was like floating down that looked silly.
I just think there's gonna be a bunch of millennials who were like 14 when it came out, being like, it's not like it. It's like, just like, bro, just chill. Like, you got it. Here it is. Just enjoy it. It's not terrible. I was worried about it being bad. It's not bad. It's fine. So, yeah. Okay. Any last words on Avatar before we move on to our next and final show of the pod?
No.
But do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I've already said everything that I could think of right now to say about it.
All right. Avatar. Last thing. Would you recommend it to people?
I would recommend they go watch the cartoon.
Yes.
And then if they like the cartoon, watch the live action.
Yeah, I would only, same.
Because especially, like, it'd probably be really hard to watch if you've never watched the cartoon. Because then you really don't know what's going on.
And if you don't like the cartoon, you are not going to like the live action.
Yeah.
Like, the cartoon that came out originally in Nickelodeon in, like, 2007, that is the best it's ever going to get.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
All right. Now we're going to get a little spicy. Okay, so
where do you even start?
I would start off by just saying Love is Blind is like hot garbage.
Toxic.
But
this is the sixth season, and we've watched all of them.
Yes.
So whatever they're doing, it brings people back. Like,
how many? Okay, so How many times have I watched it with you and be like,
I'm never watching this. I'm not watching this again. And then you know what? You know what? I went to work and I came home and he's like, "Oh, you can finish that one episode. I watched it without you." I'm like,
dude, I don't know
you
what
watched
it is.
You watched it without me? That means you really like the show enough to watch it.
It's like the same effect that Keeping Up with the Kardashians had on me. It's like, oh, this is so garbage. This sucks. But for some reason, I like cannot look away. Like I love it.
It's because there's like cute moments in the middle of all like the chaos and drama.
I don't care about that. I don't. I'm not in like the last episode we watched when they were just looking at gowns and going like, "Yay, you look so pretty." I didn't care about that. I'm just there for the drama.
A guy.
I'm just there for the drama. Cause you. Here we go.
Okay, who do we start with? We should go like couple by couple.
Okay. Do you just want to go by like? Oh, you want to go couple by couple? Like describe them.
Like what our thoughts are on each couple.
Okay, you start because I don't know all their names. I only know Jimmy and the other girl.
Okay, let's start with Kenneth and.
Okay, who's Kenneth?
Brittany. So Brittany's the cute little Southern girl.
Oh, and then Kenneth is the bigger, stocky African dude.
Yeah,
African American.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about them?
Well, I mean, it's hard to. I feel like he didn't really like her from the jump because I don't know. It's hard. It's like imagine being on that show and then you pair up with somebody, but you don't find them attractive, but you're on TV and you don't want to look like a douchebag and be like, "Oh, she's not attractive." So it's weird because sometimes you can tell that they're not attracted to each other, and then they still do the trip, and it's like, are they doing it because they feel like they have to? Is it like a contract thing? Is it like they just want more TV time because they want to become like C-list celebrities? Like
D.
Yeah. I don't know any of their names even still, and I'm watching the show. So
the thing is, if I remember right, like at the beginning of the trip, they were like really liked each other and were like always by each other and like always like touching and like seemed really close. And then like it seemed like things kind of changed when he talked to AD. And AD was like,
"Oh, you think that she drama?
You think that she could?" I don't think she meant it
drama.
with. I don't think she really meant it with like ill intent.
Oh,
because it is an important.
I don't remember.
It's an important topic, but she basically was saying like, "Do you think that she can handle raising black kids or mixed kids?"
Oh,
like she said that she asked that to Kenneth when they were like one-on-one.
Oh, you think that the opposite race was a barrier for them?
Well,
for him maybe. It seemed like for him more.
I don't. For Brittany, definitely not. She said that she's dated guys, black guys before, but I don't know. It seems like ever since then he was kind of off, and then it was for sure like blatantly obvious when they got home. He was like on his phone. Like I know the people they're back to work and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like he was constantly on his phone, even when they broke up in the kitchen. He's like, yeah. Yeah, like he's on his phone. Like, so do you think he get off his phone?
Do you think he purposefully sabotaged it, or do you think that he was just like not interested in her?
I don't know, because she even said she's like, it feels different. I don't feel the same way that it felt. So maybe a combination. Maybe he got to the real world and was like, actually, this is not what I want.
Yeah. Or
maybe he let the race get in his head. I don't know, but she was such a sweet girl, and she was like. And be like, what's going on? Like,
yeah, I feel like we should go back and explain the actual setting of the show so people can understand like what it actually is.
This is me like assuming that people have already seen it.
So real quick, I'll just quickly do this fast. Love is Blind is a show on Netflix where they say it's like an experiment of these people that come into these weird pod rooms and you can't see each other. So pretend there's a wall between you and I. And you go on blind dates, not ever seeing the person, and you rotate through men and women, and you see if you can find someone that you can find compatible and that you love, and then eventually you propose.
Propose in the pods.
Propose in the pods. So You literally, like, it's so corny.
He's proposing to a wall.
You propose to a wall, and it's like the corniest thing. And they always promote it as like a science experiment to see, like, is love blind? Can you fall in love?
But yet this cast, it's like they're almost all attractive.
Yeah,
so
every person on the show is attractive.
Especially this season, all of them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's actually kind of funny, sidetracked. I was on Instagram, and there's 2 girls from a previous season of Love is Blind.
Mm-hmm.
I think neither of them ended up with their partner.
Yeah.
But these two girls have their podcast with the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they were talking about this season, and they were saying how, like, everyone on the season is so attractive because when
they always are.
But, like, more so because she's.
Oh, really?
The 2 of them said that on their season, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, actually normal people, people that you would see at the doctor's office." That's what one of the girls said.
That's funny.
Like, they weren't. Yeah. They're definitely not unattractive, the 2 girls, but, like, I think the difference between that season and this season is just a little bit different. Like,
and they said on this season that the people are, like, evaluated, like they have to do a psych evaluation, but these people are, like, bad shit crazy. Like, all of them are
probably
crazy.
Pretty easy to pass an evaluation if you know the right answers. They probably know what to say.
But it's crazy because they all have these, like, incredible jobs. Like, they're, like, CEOs of companies, or at least managers, or they have all these successful jobs, and they're all these successful people. Like, one of them was a New England Patriots cheerleader. So all of them have mastered the art of, like, building success and the roadblocks to becoming a successful leader in person and a good person, but they can't like treat women and the opposite sex with any respect. Like, most of them are like really, how do I say it, douchebags.
Well, that's why they're successful, is because all their time and energy is on their career.
Themselves. Okay,
not on trying. Others. I mean, you can definitely be in a relationship and be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all of them. I mean, we'd be the same way if you were like 30 and single. Your whole life would be on, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? And so a lot of them are like having to learn the hard way how you should treat people.
Yeah. Just a lot of them are like super immature. But then so once they all pair together, there's a moment where they like open up this door, and then you see the other person for the first time.
If they propose. So
yes,
if a guy proposes,
if they propose and they say yes, and they agree to an engagement,
the next morning,
because
the girls like live on one side and the guys live on the other side. They're kind of like dorm
and then they see each other. Yeah. They live together, so sometimes it'll add drama and tension because 2 guys will be after the same girl, or 2 girls will be after the same guy, and then it leads to like catty drama. But yeah, so after that they meet, and I feel like that's definitely one of the more exciting part of the show.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of the whole show.
Because there's definitely been some really awkward ones. You can tell like if they're actually attracted to each other.
You can tell right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be like, oh, like you almost feel relief, like, oh, they like each other.
Yeah, you definitely like, oh. I mean,
you can tell.
Sometimes there's one that's more attractive, and you're like, "Uh-oh, is she gonna find him attractive? We'll see."
You can tell, vice versa. You can tell by the way that like they walk to each other, the way they react, the way they like hug. Like, it's pretty hard to hide. Like, I don't know. It's like secondhand. Like, it's hard for me to watch though. Sometimes it's like secondhand embarrassment. Like, it's so tense, like you can tell, like, oh, he does not like her, or vice versa, and it's hard. It's actually really hard to watch because you're like, oh no.
Has there ever been someone where they meet each other and they're like, hell no, and they're like out of there? Has that ever happened? Or I feel like every time, for some reason, when they don't find the other person attractive, they pretend they do, because it's like, it's so. Imagine being on TV and you don't find the girl or guy attractive. Imagine how embarrassing it would be for you to be like, oh, you're not attractive to me, I'm out of here, and just leave.
I mean, they'll give hints, but okay, what happens like every season is you can tell right away. You can tell right away if they like each other or not. And then if they don't, they'll like self-sabotage. Like they'll try to find a reason. Like remember one of the first seasons, he was a good-looking guy. He just had bigger ears. Like he was definitely not like ugly by any means, but you could tell.
None of them are ugly. Some of them are like maybe a little closer to average looking.
You could tell right away.
Not very handsome, but none of them are ugly.
You could tell right away that the girl didn't like him. But she went through all the motions, they did everything, and then finally, granted, religion is important.
Yeah.
But that was like her reason why they wouldn't work out. Because of like the religion thing. I'm like,
But I don't like that they call it.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you would have found another reason. Like, if you don't like him, you don't like him.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that they call it an experiment because is it really like you're getting a bunch of good-looking people that have the same type of jobs, they're in the same class, they all have they're all successful young single
yeah, you don't have a 35-year-old guy that lives with his mom and doesn't have a job.
I want to get like a goblin and
like
see if a woman falls in love with him.
Get like a not so good looking girl.
Yeah.
That
I want to see that.
and then get a guy that like has
handsome.
Well, maybe
6-figure income, 6 feet tall.
No. I was gonna say like bad on both ends. Like a girl that's like, and then a guy that's like has no ambition. Like, and it's like, or maybe actually, just kidding, take that back. Maybe they both connect, but they both aren't very attractive. Like,
and that's fine.
But the thing that I don't like about this show is that, like, looks like I like the idea of making a connection with someone first, but you can't just pretend that looks don't matter.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Because biologically, like, if you want to have kids with that person, if they're not attractive, you're gonna be like, I don't want kids with them. Like,
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to do that with you.
Like your body is like you're, like, I don't know. I think it's maybe easy.
So it's not an experiment.
Well, it might be. I think the thing is, if you have that emotional connection first, maybe it's easier for them to find each other attractive. But
then she's your friend that is like a sister to you.
But at the same,
or a brother to you.
No, at the same time, my point is like, sometimes you don't find them attractive, and like that's okay. But the thing is, it's like they can't say that on the show, or they'll be villainized. They'll be like, they're a terrible person. It's like sometimes you can connect and you don't. Like you might see them and be like, I'm not attracted to them. Like that's like it just. That's why I don't like that they call it an experiment, because it's like that's just being human.
Like, yeah, no, it's not.
Like it gives them the show gives them an opportunity to connect with someone that they might not necessarily connect with outside of the show.
Yeah.
But that all of that also
means you can't be engaged.
But all of that also means that they might not be attracted to them because they're not the typical person that they would go for. And you notice a lot of the reveals will be like, they're not the person I would usually go for, like outside the experiment. And you're kind of like, well, what is that supposed to mean? Like, are you like attracted to them, or are they just different than your type and you still like them?
Yeah, it's like it's like, I don't know. They all like, it's very obvious if they find them attractive or not, but then they tend to like drag it on. It's like, dude, it's like, but I get it, because it's like you don't want to like embarrass somebody on national TV.
That would be hard. Like, picture it not even on TV.
Like that one.
Like I've never been in a position where, obviously, I'm engaged and I'm like, you know what? Actually, I don't like you. I've never had to be in that position, and imagine that and TV. So I don't think that people, like, when they don't find the other person attractive, I don't think they're a bad person. I actually feel bad for them because they're in a predicament that they probably were trying to avoid, that they were hoping wasn't going to happen. They're probably like, no, it'll be fine. And then they see them and it's like, it's okay if they don't find them attractive. Like, that's the sad thing, is like, that's okay. But because of the way the show's set up and the national television, it just makes it like really hard for both of them.
I've told you this on multiple occasions that I think the show is super immoral because, but okay, it's super immoral to have two people.
We keep watching it.
I know. That's why I'm saying it's hot garbage. It's super immoral to have two people just instantly meet and be engaged and then try to get married, because it's like, that's crazy. Like, people that elope in Vegas, or like, when you hear people getting married after like a week of knowing each other, you're always like, that's crazy and that's wrong. You don't even know them yet. You haven't even developed like a trust with them yet.
And to like throw their families into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Amy, the Hispanic lady, like both of her parents are so cute.
Yeah.
Her dad is so cute.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, she's the reason for my like talking about his daughter. She's the reason for my happiness and why I work so hard. Like, he's so cute, and you can tell that he loves her so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's so hard to put these sweet parents in this really awkward situation where they're supposed to like try to support their kid, but also they're trying to protect their kid.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine. Like, granted, we don't have kids yet, but if that were our kid, like,
if one of my siblings went on that show, like, I feel like if I went on the show,
I would try to get them,
or my little brother went on the
tell them
show,
not to go.
Yeah, I'd be like, please do not do that. You are going to embarrass yourself on national television. Like, no one I have never watched that show one time and been like, these people are role models. These people look good to me. Like, these people are awesome. I've always been like, these people are immature.
Like, last season, there were two that like were both they've both cheated in the past.
Yeah. So it's like, why you got to be psychotic to put yourself out there on a show like that.
I know a lot of people have cheated in the past and then they find a relationship, but they're not on TV saying and hiding, actually.
Yeah.
Hiding
a lot
the
of people
fact,
get exposed on
hiding
the show.
the fact that they've cheated on
a
their
lot of
partner
people cheat,
in
bro.
the past.
Like, it's crazy. Like, it's pretty common.
It blows my mind because I'm like, I don't even understand like how you get to that point. But
yeah.
Oh, you also forgot to explain. So, or maybe you did.
Oh, go ahead.
So all of the couples that end up getting engaged, they all go, is it for like a week? They go on like a very romantic like island
So once
vacation.
once all the couples are picked and engaged, they go to a week on these like very luxurious.
So they each have like their own hotel suite that they stay at, whatever, and then they'll get together at like
they're all
parties.
together in the same hotel, all the couples.
They'll have like a pool party, and it's interesting because in the pods you'll have like one girl that's been talking to two different guys, and then it's kind of awkward because then they finally like meet each other and
they bring them all together.
They see like say for example, like pretend that you and I were like in the pods, and then I was also talking to somebody else, and say that me and somebody else got engaged, and then I go there and you're engaged with somebody else, and then I see you and I'm like, oh, that I used to talk to him. Like,
I don't want to.
It's awkward.
I don't want to like feel like I'm on a moral pedestal, or feel like, or like try to make it seem like I'm better than these people. But like, another reason why I think the show is so immoral, like, they're not promoting love in any way. It's just they're promoting toxicness, because they get all these couples that kind of dated each other and then they put them all bunched up together. It's like, what the hell? Like, it's like, and then that's when you get people like.
That's when you get the drama.
That's when you get the drama, which is fun.
Which is what gives them views. Why
it's a like show at the end of the day.
It's like a loop. Like, that's why we always end up coming back to it.
Because we're there for the spicy drama. But
it's good. It's good drama.
It's good drama. But it's just like, and then like all these people are gonna be like, just like naturally they're gonna be like, oh damn, she's fine, or like she's better looking than the one I picked. Like, that happens all the time, and then you just feel so bad. And then you feel so bad for the girl that, like, the guy and the girl that's more attractive will go off in a corner. They always do that in the show. Like,
they would talk for like an hour.
I think they have to.
It shows the other girl. The other girl's like almost crying. Like,
yes.
Like, why are they still talking? Like, it's so sad.
I feel like the show makes them do that, because in every season, they make the pairs that almost got engaged but didn't. Let's go talk. And then they talk. And then it always shows like edits of the other chick like looking like jealous, or like looking back like, what is going on? Why are they talking?
Well, the thing
like,
that's so
shit's like that.
The thing that's so awkward is like, we'll go back to like all the couples, but in general, like two at least one, maybe two situations where like the two of them go talk. They're like, oh, you're definitely the type of person I would go for in the real world. Like they're like flirting with them.
Yes.
Like they're basically saying like, yeah, you're my type. It's like, dude, you're engaged. Like it's a little too late to be saying that now unless you want to break off your engagement. Like,
exactly. It's so immature. It's so immature to be like. It shows that the actual engagement. They don't value it.
Doesn't mean anything.
They don't value it because they don't really even know the person that well. They talk for like how many days? Like a week, 2 weeks? How long are they actually in the pods talking? There's no way you could develop a connection that fast.
I know well, it's a new connection. Like they have a connection, but it's new. But I know they talk like I think they talk for like hours.
Okay.
On their dates sometimes. Not saying that is like the same. It's
also corny.
As like actually dating, but
it's also really cringe hearing people like staring at a wall and being like, "Oh, you're the love of my life. I feel like our souls are connected." And they're like talking to a wall. It's like the weirdest like, but it's just that's why I'm there. It's just literally like the best part of it is just like making fun of people and judging them.
And as you said before, you're like, I'm not trying to act like I'm better than anyone.
I know.
We're not. But
watching the show is gonna make a lot of people feel better about themselves.
No, it makes me feel better about like our relationship. Yeah,
for sure.
Like we knew each other for like
we were friends for 2 years
for like
we dated.
almost 2 years.
Yeah,
we dated for 8 months. We were engaged for 4 months. Like we had, by the time we started dating, we like knew everything about each other basically. And so it was so easy to like transition to that. And I know that's not like the typical way.
Yeah, it's like
it's
rare.
not a typical way people meet and get in a relationship.
It's hard to, I feel like most people when they become friends, they just stay friends. It's hard for people to like change their minds on that.
So like
I feel like we just are a rare
I feel like
couple.
we're pretty lucky with how things ended up. But my whole point is like we had that strong friendship before we even considered like dating. And so it's so hard to be like in 4 weeks they have to decide if they're going to get married.
And that's why I don't judge them whenever they're like paranoid about the other couple. Like they'll fight and be like, "Oh my gosh, is this over? Like, are we done?" But like we'll have an argument and it's like, "Well, we're like this. Like we'll fight and then it's like I know you're not going to want to leave me because we argue about something."
To them, they have maybe 2 big arguments and
they'll be like,
and that's that.
Cold turkey, we're done.
Like,
yeah.
But my point is like, they don't know each other well enough to like know how other people react. Like I don't even know what our first fight was about, but like it's not enough to know how it's going to be with the person. Like, they don't know. No matter how good their connection is, they don't know each other really well enough, I think, to decide if it's ready to get married. And so I think that's why so many of them, not surprisingly, don't work. I think the sad thing is, you know what? I think a lot of them would work out and would get married if, not all of them, but a handful of them, I think, if they weren't on this timeline, they could possibly end up together. But the timeline puts stress and rushes you and makes you have to make up your mind really fast. Like I think if they had more time, I mean, that's a TV show. That's why they have to do it the way they do it. But like some couples have said like, we will date after the show. And sometimes they do. But you should tell them about how like the altar works, like what they have to do.
Okay, so then they come back. Okay, so after the week vacation, if they're still together, sometimes couples will split up after the vacation. So it's like almost like they get
like a week.
They get the vacation and then they're like, "Nope, I'm done." Which
because when you think about it, the vacations, it's like a early honeymoon. Like they're still in that like la la phase, and it's like fun and food and drinks and just fun. And then they have to come back and go back to their jobs. Oh, also, this whole time while they're in the pods and on the vacation, they don't have access to social media.
Oh, yeah.
And then as soon as they get home, they get their phones
They
back.
all DM the other girls
and I think that's why
hey,
I think that's why the one guy was like stuck to his phone because he hasn't seen it for so long. But it's like, dude, like get off your phone.
Okay, so yeah, they do the honeymoon and then they live together for like 30 days, which again isn't enough time to. Anyways, so they live together for 30 days and then the marriage part is the very end where they have to go in and then they have to say I do or not.
They have to get all dolled up. Like
Yep.
even this is what I think is wrong about the show. Like even if I knew I was saying no, I still have to put on the wedding dress. I still have to invite my friends, my family. He invites his friends and his family, and then we both go up to the altar. And then the officiant, he will rotate. Like he'll either ask the girl first or he'll ask the guy first. Like, do you say I do? And then they'll say yes or no. And then the most awkward is like when the first person says I do, then they'll go to this next person, and sometimes they'll say like,
I can't be with you.
I can't. And then it's just like heartbreak in front of all your family.
Exactly. Like, I could not imagine the nightmare that the family has to go through. Like, if that were my daughter, I would be like, dude, you are not going on that show. You cannot. It's just like the people that are on it are psychotic. But okay, so that's the end of the show. Once you get there, and then they do a reunion. So it will be like months after everyone said yes or no, they'll like catch up on all their lives, and then the show ends, and then you get another season. So now I feel like, with all that being said, everyone knows the show now. I kind of want to talk about all of the main like crazy things that have been happening in this season, and I want to start off with Jimmy and.
No.
Why?
Okay. Fine.
That's the best. That's the craziest thing that's happened.
Okay.
So what's the other girl's name? Jimmy and who?
Chelsea.
Okay, so. Oh gosh, this is gonna be really hard for me to say without sounding like a jerk.
But let me say it.
Okay,
let me explain it.
Go ahead.
Not that you would. Okay, so
I will.
Jimmy's this like kind of southern guy, whatever. But he's talking to a girl named Chelsea, and it's kind of weird. People are like dating like two people at the same time. So he's talking to her, and he's also talking to another lady named Jessica. So it's getting to the point where like they kind of have to like pick like who he's gonna propose to, and so he'll go on like dates with Chelsea, then I'll go on dates with Jessica, and it gets kind of like really awkward. And then should I really explain?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just say it.
No. Let me say it. Let me say it.
Because you think I'm gonna sound like a douche?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So when they were in the pods. I also have seen Chelsea's post like on social media, so I'm gonna be a lot nicer than you are.
I'm not gonna be mean, bro.
I know.
Give
okay,
me a chance.
So it came up somehow like Chelsea and Jimmy were talking about like celebrity lookalikes, and she's a flight attendant. And she's like, "Oh yeah, people have said that I look like." Well, she said it weird. She said I look like
Yeah, she pretended like she didn't know who Megan Fox was.
Yeah.
She was like. People have said that I kind of look like this girl. I don't really know who she is, but I think she's MGK's girlfriend or something like that. And then Jimmy goes, Megan Fox? Like he's like, people call you Megan, think you look like Megan Fox, and he's like, you can tell he's like his jaw drops.
So she has like maybe her eyes and maybe like her jawline. Those are like the two things like. Maybe, but it's actually.
Oh boy.
Listen. Okay,
Here
it's kind
go.
of. Let me.
Here we go.
No, let me talk. It's kind of interesting though.
What
is? I was like reading an Instagram comment, and there was a different lady on Chelsea's post, and she's like, "I'm not even making this up." She's like, "This is really random," but she said, "People have said that I look like you, like have said that she looks like Chelsea."
Megan Fox reached out to her?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back.
A random lady on Instagram said that people have told her she looks like Chelsea, like since the show's come out.
Okay.
And she actually kind of does a little bit. And then she said, I'm not even making this up, but like a few people have said I kind of have similar features to Megan Fox. I'm not saying she looks just like her.
And her name's Chelsea, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying she looks just like her, but
I'll come to Chelsea's defense for a second.
She might have heard it a couple of times.
I'll come to Chelsea's defense for a second. I think she's a pretty girl. She's not ugly at all. I think a little bit in the eyes, maybe a little bit. Like, if I'll see a side-by-side, it's like I believe that maybe 1 or 2 people called her Megan Fox, and then she's just like stuck with that because obviously Megan Fox is a very beautiful woman, and so she probably. I believe that that's not a lie, and someone called her Megan Fox, and she's just held on to that compliment her whole life because imagine being compared to Megan Fox, right? She's a beautiful woman. So she held on to that.
I think Jimmy was picturing, like, she must
Hot.
look. No, I think he was thinking she must look exactly like her. Like, I think
Megan Fox is sexy.
Exactly. I know, but I think he was thinking like she's got the same body shape.
Yeah, but
she's got the same hair. She's got this. She's got that. And
Megan.
One thing that I didn't know until I watched Chelsea's Instagram was I feel bad because she's gotten a lot of hate on like the internet.
I think she's handling it well.
She is. I'm like super impressed with how she's handling it.
Yeah.
She's like, man, being humbled, my goodness. Or she said something, but then she also had said in an interview, she's like, well, what they didn't show was that Jimmy said he looks like some like famous football player or something.
Why would they not put that in?
Because they want to make her look bad.
You think? I feel like definitely people get the wrong.
I don't think it's her. Like, she probably shouldn't have said that, but I think it's the way that they've edited it.
Mm-hmm.
A huge part of it. And I think Jimmy was thinking like, literally like she must look just like her.
Yeah.
And then at the reveal, did you hear he stopped himself?
Oh,
he stopped himself, but he's like, you lied. You said you look like, and then he's.
Oh, he did? When they revealed?
Maybe he didn't say you lied, but he's like,
I don't remember that.
He was very quiet. He's like, you said you looked like, and then he stopped because he like cut himself off.
Okay, but as a guy, if I'm in his shoes, like Megan Fox, she doesn't really look that much like Megan Fox. I'm not gonna be mean to Chelsea. You can go and see her yourself. I don't really want to say why she doesn't look like Megan Fox.
Saying she doesn't look like Megan Fox isn't saying that she's ugly. That's the internet.
I don't think she's
that's
ugly.
what the internet is like. I think she's very pretty.
Yeah, she's a pretty girl.
But you're comparing yourself to like one of the most beautiful women in the world.
Beautiful, like most fit, beautiful actresses in the world.
Like, she did a disservice to herself, I think, because she's very pretty, I think.
Yeah.
And she carries herself really well, but I think she just set herself up for like almost like failure because she set his expectations
standards too high.
Were way too high, which is like, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the experiment. But
and I will say, and I think a lot of guys agree. Guys, let's talk about that. Just kidding. Ladies, step aside. I'm talking to the guys.
The other girl named Jessica.
The other girl is way hotter than Chelsea. She's just better looking, more fit. I don't want to like be a douche, but she looks more like a Megan Fox than Chelsea. But again, I don't like Jimmy very much either, so whatever.
Jimmy doesn't have a lot of room to talk.
I bet a lot of guys.
I don't think Jimmy's very handsome.
He's kind of awkward looking a little bit, I would say. But I don't. And anyways, I think a lot of guys were probably thinking the same thing, like, "Oh, bro, Jimmy fumbled." Like Jimmy kind of fumbled a little bit.
I've also heard people's theories that like, she said that because he knew that he was also talking. She knew that he was also talking to Jess. So people have said that not that she made the comment up, but she said that comment to kind of like get him to pick her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knew that she's in competition with the other girl.
Oh, yeah, and I think when Jimmy and the better-looking girl, in a lot of people's opinions, probably when they broke up, she was like, you're gonna need what did she say? Like an what's it called?
When you see me, you are going to choke.
Yeah.
You are going to need your EpiPen.
Yeah.
She's basically saying like, I'm so hot, you're gonna freaking die.
Yeah.
And then I actually don't dislike this girl because on her Instagram, she's making fun of herself in that situation, and she's like, guys, I was a little too hyping myself up.
I thought it was funny.
She's like, I was hyping myself up a little bit too much. She's like, I was feeling the wine. Like, she was joking about how she was like kind of drunk and she was upset. And so she was just kind of saying like, that's why she said it. Like, she was teasing herself. Like, which I respect when people can kind of like make fun of themselves a little bit.
So now Jimmy and Chelsea are going through the honeymoon, and we've also seen them living together. And it's just like, it's so hard to watch because you just feel like, they're not going to work because
we didn't talk about the reveal.
They've gotten, okay, go ahead. Because I don't really remember it, really.
So at the reveal...
It seemed awkward a little bit, yeah.
Very awkward. You could tell instantly that he was like...
Not feeling it.
He almost, actually... Ooh, I just bumped the mic, oops. Before they even saw each other, he slipped the wrong name. He said, I'm so excited to see what Chelsea looks like.
Yeah.
That right there is like a huge red flag. He got the wrong name. And then the doors open. And then he's like kisses her and whatever. You can tell it's like super forced.
Really awkward.
It's super awkward. And usually the guy will just say like what he likes. Like, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. Or like, look at your like dress.
Yeah,
or
they'll
like,
usually say you're sexy.
Like, look
or
at
you're
your body.
Beautiful,
like
you look so good.
Like you look
just
amazing.
Like, like he doesn't make a compliment.
Like they'll typically like the guys and the girls will just naturally like they'll naturally compliment each other. It's not forced. It's like, oh my gosh, you're so much taller than I thought. Or like just genuine like
he didn't say something.
They're describing their appearance or they're complimenting them. And he didn't say anything. And she's like, what do you like? And he's like, you've got big white teeth.
Yeah, not the best compliment.
Big white teeth, like, come on. Like,
so the rest of the show, it's like their relationship is basically just Chelsea feeling like insecure and constantly needing reassurance and constantly needing compliments because she is insecure about how he feels about her. And rightfully so, because I don't think he likes her. So it's really hard. It's like so embarrassing and hard to watch because she's constantly being like, constantly kind of like
clingy
and being like, oh my gosh, do you still love me?
She's getting, I feel like it's not fair. I feel like she's getting a lot of backlash. Like, gosh, you're so clingy. You're so annoying. You should be like secure with yourself before you're in a relationship.
But I feel like I understand her
but
too.
the thing with him, and you can see it through the TV. You can feel it through the TV. He says all the right things. He says, I love you. I want to be with you. Like he will say every single thing that you should probably say.
Yeah.
But you can tell that he doesn't mean it. You can tell that he's just saying it. And you can tell like it's not genuine. And I think she knows that. I think she's trying to like I feel like she's trying to like convince herself that he does love her and he is attracted to her, and then he gets mad when like she questions him, but he doesn't give her any reassurance. He's like, I'm telling you this, I'm telling you that, but you can say one thing, but if you don't mean it, people can tell that you don't mean it.
It's very obvious to me that he just wants to get out of it without doing as much damage as he can, without looking like a douche or damaging his reputation. Because the second they had an argument, he tried to find an out. He's like,
but it's like, dude, you're not an actor. I'm sorry. You're not a professional actor. We can all tell.
We can all see that you don't want to, we can all feel that you don't want to be there. And it's like, he's just trying to find an easy out. Because like the first time, okay, so that's the next thing I want to talk about. Like when they argued because he went out with someone that he has slept with. So so Chelsea meets his friends, which are both girls.
Two girlfriends that, guess what? He's only known for 2 years. Did you know that?
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that until today. Long. He's only known these two girlfriends for 2 years.
And he had a relationship with one. I don't know which one. Is it the one that was like super smiley, the blonde one, or the one that was a brunette? I don't know.
They're both pretty. It could be
both pretty girls.
It could be either. Yeah. Not that they have to be pretty, but I think it could be either of them, honestly.
So he goes and hangs out with them, and she gets really mad because, oh, you went out with them, and you shouldn't be. She at first. So the argument starts like Chelsea being sad and angry and being like, you can't go out and hang out with them. And at first I was like on Chelsea's side, like, yo, yeah, like, oh no, at first I was on Jimmy's side. I was like, yo, like, let him hang out with people. Like, you got to give him a life outside of just you being in the home.
But
then it gets revealed that Jimmy is hanging out with a girl that he had a relationship with and that he has slept with. So it's kind of like, now I'm more on Chelsea's side
Well, and he tries to justify it, like it was just a one-time thing. And then one thing that bugged me too is before they even mentioned like him going out, he like texts one of the girls all day long. Like they text all day long. It's like, then why don't you have a relationship with her? Like, that's the hard thing about having like opposite gender friends, like when you're married. But the thing is, it's like,
I don't have any.
Same.
I don't have any friends.
That makes it easy for us. But the thing is, it's like, it'd be different if like he went and hung out in like a group setting and there were guys and girls there and the girls were also there. But it's different if he's texting the one all day long. It's like, if you're gonna text a girl all day long, that should be me. Like the person you're marrying, you should be texting me all day long. Like, why do you need to be texting this girl all the time? I get it if it's like an occasional thing, but it just, and one thing that's also weird that I've like read a lot, it just pops up on Instagram a lot. But one thing I also saw was like, they're like, he doesn't have any like guy friends, like any dudes that she could introduce him to. Like the only friends he's going to introduce her to are 2 girlfriends. Someone made it seem like they're like, he's trying not to let her get too close into his life. Like he's trying to keep her away, like intentionally.
Yeah. And again, this like, I feel like I don't want to try to put myself on like a moral pedestal, like I'm better than these people. But me personally, like when you find someone you love or you want to be with, you don't hang out with girls that you had a romantic interest with in the past. Like you don't do that.
Because your new relationship should be enough.
Exactly.
That should fulfill all of that.
Yeah.
It's not saying you should cut off your relationship with those other 2 girlfriends, but you cannot ever spend one-on-one time with either of them ever again.
And I don't want to make this like a podcast of like us being like our but like I don't want to be a advice podcast.
No. I don't either, but that's just like, okay, I'm not even gonna say what you should and shouldn't do. But
if you were hanging out with a boyfriend
at a bar,
I would be mad.
I was hanging out with my ex-boyfriend from the last 2 years at a bar at like 1 a.m, and I just came home like, hi Cody, you would be like, where were you? What the heck are you doing? Like,
so it's clearly like just him trying to get out of it. I think he's kind of a douchebag.
And he talks to her like she's crazy. He talks to her like she's crazy for questioning why he would do that or like feeling upset about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, and then that's where we kind of left off with them. One other major thing that's happening in the show is there was a guy named, what's the guy with the blonde chick? Let's talk about them.
Jeremy and Laura.
Okay, so Jeremy and Laura.
I'm embarrassed I know all of their names.
I don't know any of their names besides Jimmy and Chelsea because they're kind of like the
spotlight. They're like the main attention.
So you said Jeremy?
Yeah.
Jeremy and Laura, like their relationship at first started off okay. But then...
Wait, let's start it back in the pods.
Okay, go ahead.
So, similar to Jeremy also had 2 girls that he was talking with in the pods.
Okay.
So, he's also had 2 relationships.
I don't remember.
He also had 2 relationships going on. The other girl is Sarah Ann, the one that showed up at the pool party. So,
right.
He was close with the 2. He had a relationship with both of them, but he ended up picking Laura, the blonde. Okay, now go.
Okay, so after they got engaged and went home, you find out that Jeremy, and stop me if I'm wrong, Jeremy got an Instagram message from what was her name?
Sarah. From Chelsea. Sarah Ann.
Jeremy got a message from the other girl that he was talking to in the pods, and the girl said, hey, if that doesn't fall through, you can kind of like, I don't know the exact message.
She said like, hey, I don't either because we never showed us like the message. It just showed them talking about it. But basically it was saying like, I really enjoyed meeting you in the pods. If you're ever at a point where you're questioning your decision, I'm always here. So like very disrespectful. Yeah. Like basically saying like he did not pick her and she's like trying to snake her way in. It's like, he's not questioning his decision because he picked her. He didn't pick you. And so like very like out of pocket, I don't think it was right for her to do that. But then where the drama comes from is Jeremy didn't like shut it down. I mean, I don't think he liked it, which was kind of weird, but like not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want to explain what happened next?
Or
try to explain? I know it's kind of a lot.
When he goes to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Is that next? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, first of all, I think it's immoral to, I don't want to keep going like the advice guy, like, but it was kind of wrong for her to message him and be like, hey, if it doesn't work out, whatever. But anyway, so he liked it, and then that bugged Laura.
Yeah, and she's a
terrible with names.
She's a very direct woman.
She's mean. She's toxic. I don't like her either. But anyways,
she can be mean. I'm not gonna say she's a very nice person.
Mean girl.
But he's not any better.
But he doesn't deserve. He deserves all the backlash he gets. So
yeah,
there's one night where he goes to a bar with her. Well, he goes to a bar and then she's there, and they say like, "Oh, we didn't know that we'd be there. We didn't know we'd be there together." BS.
It was like a lot of the cast members will hang out. So like I think it's a bunch of the guys from the show.
She was there
at the bar. But then she was there. Which that's not the problem. Maybe. The problem wasn't that she was there and we just talked at the bar.
The problem is that he was out with her until like 5:30 in the morning and hung out with her and talked to her and then took her home from the bar. And they say that he didn't go into the apartment and they didn't like sleep together or anything. And then he went home. And there's this big argument scene where Laura is being like, yo, what the F? Calling him out on his crap like, hey, she was tracking his location, right?
Oh, so finish, and then I have an update on what I learned today.
Okay, so she says, where were you? And he was like, well, I was at the bar. And then she was like, and then he tried to justify his behavior by being like, well, I shared my location with you, so it's okay that I was out at the bar until 5 a.m.
It's
talking
5 a.m.
to
I was sleeping.
Sarah.
She's like, Sarah Ann. She's like, I was sleeping. And she was like, I don't want to be in a relationship where you have to send me your location in order for me to like trust you. Like, like what the heck?
And then, so basically after that, the relationship is ruined because he broke her trust. And he was being stupid and hanging out with a girl that he finds interesting. So it's like, really, bro? Like, what did you think? Like, that's why I'm saying, like, these guys are so successful and they have these good jobs. They're good looking guys and they just are so stupid. Like, they're the biggest F-boys on the planet.
Well, do you know what? Okay, I could be wrong, but what I had heard about the situation was they kept saying, like, the name of the bar. So they were talking in, like, his car or her car in the bar parking lot for, like, hours and hours on end. He left his phone in the car.
Okay. Oh.
But she caught him. Here's the thing, is he actually didn't tell the whole truth. He told her
he didn't think she'd be awake.
No, well, no. That's what he told her that he was at the bar in the parking lot and that they talked for hours and hours, which is probably true. She caught on because of his Apple Watch location that he drove to her home. Okay. Because she's like, actually, you weren't at this bar. You were in this city, or you were in this area exactly where Sarah Ann lives. So busted. He didn't even say that. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, she lived like 8 minutes away, so I drove her home. But he didn't even tell her that that happened. And then he's all butthurt that she won't forgive him because he's like, he's like, well, I told you. It's like, that doesn't mean that it's okay. Yeah. That doesn't take away what you did. You can't just be like, well, I told you what happened. Like,
and then he has that whole scene with his mom, and then even the mom is like, you idiot. Like, what were you thinking?
His mom it was actually sad. She's like, I guess I might not have a daughter-in-law anymore.
Yeah.
Like, she seemed really bummed. It was sad.
And then they meet at they have another party.
Another pool party.
They all meet, and then he's just like, F you, it's over. And then and then him.
This is like from a movie.
It's so stupid. So, okay. So first, so
he's tell him about
how rewind.
Tell him about how he's sitting. No, tell him about how he's sitting on the chair, and she comes up and stands up next to him, and she's basically like, "It's over." And
then he's like, "Okay." He's not sad, not angry, and then he grabs Sarah Ann. He's
no
like,
emotion, no tears. Like,
and then him and Sarah Ann decide this is a good time to go jet skiing.
Okay, let's go jet ski, and it shows them like it shows them like going in and out of the waves.
It's like a compilation of it's like all these little scenes of like him riding on the jet ski and going like woo, and then Sarah Ann being like yeah woo, and they're like meanwhile the
like they just destroy a relationship.
The other girl's like sad and angry and like he's the biggest douche. He's like whoa, he's just four-wheeling. He didn't care. And he was like happy that they broke up.
All the other girls were like, and before they went jet skiing, so like what happened was
AD.
No.
Another girl.
Oh, we can talk about that too. But what happened was
this is drama. He was sitting
on like a lawn chair by himself, and then she came over to talk to him, and like you know how like when you talk to someone, if you're standing above them, it gives off like kind of like intimidation.
Yeah.
Like when you sit down, you're like we're on the same page. When you're sitting and someone's standing, it's kind of like
should we display?
No, but it's just kind of like how body language works. Like it just seems like more dominant. Like you're dominating the conversation or whatever. Like she does not sit down, which I don't really blame her. But then
he deserved it. He's a D-bag.
She's basically explaining like why this is not okay and why basically it's over. And he's like, well, can we like get along so we can enjoy the rest of the party? And she's like, you want to go and just enjoy the rest of your party? Like, do you not realize that your engagement, do you not care that your engagement just ended? Like you are more worried about enjoying the party. Yeah. And so then right after that, him and Sarah Ann,
it gives off like 14-year-old breaking up with a girl for the first time vibes.
Him and Sarah Ann have a conversation before the jet ski. And he's basically like, I chose wrong in the pods. I think we both know that. And Sarah Ann's like, yeah. And then they're like, let's go jet ski. And then they go jet ski.
But the thing I didn't like about Sarah Ann was there was like a scene where right before they get on the jet skis, she's like crying and being like, they're making me up to be a hoe and that like I'm a home wrecker and all this stuff.
And he's like, you're not.
You're not. And he like looks pissed too. He's like, it's almost like he doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, you're not. His like face is all red. And then there's like a really cringe moment where she looks at the camera and goes, I didn't do anything wrong. And then she looks like back at all the people at the house and goes, I didn't do anything wrong. It was just like so childish. Like she didn't say that to their face. She just said it far away and acted like it was just really cringe. And like, I just feel really bad that she had to look that dumb on TV. Like they both just look so stupid.
Okay, I know people get bad at
I hate talking this badly about people.
I know people get bad edits, but the two of them did that to themselves. You can't edit that anyway to make it look good.
I hate talking so badly about people, but like they just were so stupid. They just looked so stupid and immature. It's more
like relationships, like what's appropriate in a relationship and what is not. Like that's not. And like you said, at the party, there's a girl named AD. She's just one of the other girls on the show. And I like her because she was very direct. She had a conversation with Sarah Ann. She wasn't rude. She was kind of like talking basically.
Well, it seemed like she was upset at the fact that she's so okay to be a homewrecker.
And she was very honest. But
she was trying to point out what she did was wrong. Like, hey,
she was very honest.
You realize she was engaged, right?
She's like, what makes you think that it was okay for you to message him? Yeah,
and then she just gets super defensive and emotional because she knows she's right, and
she's like, well, he left the door open. She's like, well, he didn't because AD gets kind of like brutally honest. She's like, he didn't pick you.
Yeah.
And she's like, to text someone that you know is engaged, like AD was just saying like, this isn't right. And the other girl was like, you're attacking me. Like,
yeah, I feel like it. It's just, the show is like, even talking about it now, like it's fun for a while, but then I'm like, this is why I always say I don't want to watch it anymore, because it's just like, sometimes it just brings out the worst in humans, and it's like, man, this is
the show's
good.
Not even about like love anymore. It's about like people want their fame. People want their 5 minutes on TV. Like,
they need to make a show, and it needs to have these dramatic moments, because like what's making the show popular is all of these like dramatic moments of people maybe cheating or people being like, ooh, she's hot. The other girl that I almost matched with is hotter than my girl. Like that's, so it's just like, it's immoral, but at the same time, they're all signing up for it. So it's just like, that's why I think you would have to be a psychopath to enter that show, because literally there's maybe like 2 or 3 couples that I looked at that was like, wow, they could have a great marriage. The rest of them is just like immaturity, drama, all this garbage that makes people look bad. And I feel like, I hate like trying to like, again, I keep saying this over and over again like a broken record, but like it's a bad influence on kids, like, and teenagers. Teenagers are gonna watch this show and think it's okay to treat women like that, and vice versa. Women are gonna go on the show and think that that's normal behavior between men and women, and that's why I will often want to pull myself out from watching it and be like, I can't watch this show anymore. But it's just the drama is too good and too entertaining to where I'm just like, oh, here we go again.
I think if we, it's not like a great show you should be watching if like if we had kids, I would not watch the show.
I would not let kids. I would not
let it. Like we would watch it in our own time. I would not let them watch the show with us.
Yeah,
because like some of them are good people, but just the culture. It's like the culture of the show itself that is not good. Like they allow things to happen that probably shouldn't happen, and it's the hosts. Like I don't really like the hosts very much. I don't think. No, I hate
the hosts.
I think they're the root of the problem. I don't think that they're very good people. Like,
well, to throw people in these situations for money and get people that are so like greedy for fame and to be on a TV show, like. I get that they're signing up for it, but still, at the end of the day, it's just like I can't believe.
I get that. Yeah, I get.
I can't believe people are signing up for this.
I get that
and
they're
embarrassing
signing.
themselves.
I get that they sign up for it.
Yeah.
But like, can you imagine? Like, I can't even imagine all of the cameras and like imagine trying. The reason why I think the fact that it's a show is why they don't work. Like, you can't have a true, genuine relationship when it's. Cameras are in your face all the time.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like, unless you're an actor and you're like, oh, I'm used to cameras, whatever. Like,
and that's the vibe I get too. Like, cameras on them, so they're trying to act like, I don't know. It's just not like you have to be a psychopath. Like, you have to be for that show.
For a true relationship. You have to be like vulnerable, and it's not always pretty. Like, there's hard moments, there's good moments, whatever. But it's like, knowing me, like if I had a camera pointed at my face. I wouldn't be able to act like myself. I would act how I would think that I'm supposed to be acting, like for the camera, like because like, people are watching. Like you couldn't be. I couldn't be myself. Some people maybe they can, but some people like.
It's fun. The show is fun for adults like us who just like that funny drama, but like, I would not recommend this to like teenagers. And like people that are gonna start going into the dating scene,
or see even adults that, well, I feel like all adults could watch it. But if someone is like struggling with their dating life, like this is not a show that's gonna help you.
Also, I don't know how real the show is. Like, are they making people play characters? Maybe. I don't think so.
Because we've even said a couple of times, like the fact that Jimmy and Chelsea, that their relationship is like still happening. We're like, are they? Get together? Are they just getting a really bad edit?
Yeah.
But then we go back to the reveal. We're like, oh no, I don't know.
Reality TV is really good at painting people how they want to. Their reality TV is good at displaying people how the show wants them to be looked at. So like Survivor, for instance, they'll have people that play the game, and the show will make them try to look like a villain or make them look bad. When in reality, it's like, could you imagine if a camera followed you around like all day and
you also were not eating?
Only
you were not eating or sleeping or getting to brush your teeth.
Even in Love is Blind, just like having a camera around you all day, of course you're going to say things every now and then that make you look bad. Like you're going to be grumpy or you're going to be, so it's like, that's why I don't want to like, that's why I kind of have a hard time talking about this and calling these guys douchebags or calling these girls like, really like homewreckers, like because we don't really know. We're seeing what the show wants us to see and not like really like who they are, I feel like. But yeah, I don't want to talk about this show anymore. Do you have anything else? Is there anything else that you want to bring up before we move on?
I think so. I think like we're talking somehow, I don't know, we talked about this at work.
Mhm.
The Love is Blind show. And we haven't watched this show. We're still not really going to talk about it. But there's a show called The Ultimatum. And long story short, one of my coworkers, the traveler, she didn't say who it was, but one of her cousins was on The Ultimatum show.
Oh.
It's the same show it's a show with
Yeah.
the same hosts, but like
Oh.
we haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Long story short, she just said like they made her cousin look so bad.
Mhm.
She said that her cousin like came home and explained like everything that actually happened.
Yeah.
And the edit that they got was like made them look terrible. Like
Yeah.
made them like look like things that didn't actually happened basically. Like
Yeah.
like they can twist your words however they want to, which is like kind of really scary.
I just want to, I'll just finish by saying, like, it's fun as an adult who knows what it's like to be in an actual successful relationship, and like, I personally know, like a lot of the, at least I feel like our relationship is really good, and like, so when I watch the show, I feel like I understand what it takes to like have a good, successful relationship. We've been married 5 years now. We've been together for 6. So like, I feel like we can watch it just fine because we know that this is like stupid garbage television, and
But
stupid garbage television is fun.
But younger
generations
kids
are going to watch it.
And even like older teenagers, even like 18, 19.
Even like young 20s.
Yeah, they're like
early 20s.
Especially people haven't like people want to see like role models and like what a good relationship would look like.
This is not the show
to find that. A lot of people
that.
see that through like their parents or people in their family or whatever, but like this show is not.
But you want to know why there's no shows like that? Because that would be boring as hell.
They're not fun. They're boring.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I have to say. Unless we should move on to what's on the radar. Is there anything else you want to say? Last little thing. Yeah, I'm good. Let's move on from that toxicness. Holy crap.
That we brought up, that we started.
This is a drama pod. We should call this the drama pod from now on.
No.
Drama alert.
Because this show has one more episode, and
I will be so happy once it's done. But when season 7 comes out,
I'm
gonna watch it.
Like, it has one more episode, so like we're not gonna be the drama pod because it's almost done.
Yeah, no more drama pod. This is a movie and show pod. This just happened to be what we were watching when we finally got all our equipment.
I feel like we're mainly gonna talk about movies, right? For the most part,
movies and shows.
Okay,
movies and shows. Just whatever we're watching. I don't want to be like Survivor's coming out, but I don't know if I want to even do Survivor. But anyways,
like Survivor's like a very specific like
fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So on the radar, next episode or 2, because actually this one might be 2 episodes between. We went for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next, what's on the radar for us? What we're gonna watch is Dune 2. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Dune 2. It's getting a lot of. Excuse me. It's getting a lot of really good reviews. So we're gonna watch that when we have time, and then we're gonna also watch that new Adam Sandler movie on Netflix, where he's an astronaut and he, I don't know, it just looks really weird and interesting, but it's an Adam Sandler movie, so I want to watch it.
See if we can take him seriously, not being like
it seems like a more serious
not
role.
being the funny guy. Yeah,
he was so good in Uncut Gems. That's one of his best movies of all time, and it's definitely a more serious movie. He still plays kind of like a goofy clown, but you should watch that movie. It's just one of the best movies ever. Probably definitely top 100 for me. I gotta rank everything because that's how the internet works. You rank things. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for episode 1. Holy crap, podcasts are hard. I feel like Avatar was harder to talk about. But Love is Blind a little easier.
We've also like almost finished the whole season of Love is Blind, and Avatar we've only watched like what, 3 episodes?
3 episodes, yeah.
I mean, we have the gist of what the show's gonna be like, but
we'll get better at podcasting as we go. But this was fun.
It's hard to like learn how to talk into a mic.
Yeah, and you both have to constantly talk, no silence.
It takes practice.
You can't have I think it's called white noise where no one's talking.
Yeah.
Also, I apologize for the Like, it's not visually pleasing right now. Like, it's kind of grainy. The camera. We'll work on that. It's expensive to do a podcast. But, yeah, that'll be it. I don't know how we're going to close these. I don't know. Should we have, like, a catchphrase?
Yeah.
And I'll see you in episode 2. I don't like that. Goodbye.